This is a CBS News special report. I'm Anthony Mason with an update on the terror attack today in Barcelona, Spain. A van plowed into a crowd of pedestrians on a sidewalk in a popular tourist district known as Las Ramblas. Video from the scene shows there are many casualties. Police confirm at least one death and 32 injuries, 10 of them critical. Local media is reporting significantly higher numbers, as many as 13 deaths. The van appeared to travel about halfway down Las Ramblas, ending up atop a mosaic by the artist Juan Miró, which means it covered about 1,600 feet, swerving back and forth and hitting pedestrians. A manhunt is underway for the driver of the van, who may be holed up at a bar in the area. The White House says the Chief of Staff, John Kelly, is keeping President Trump up to date on the attack. Las Ramblas is still effectively cordoned off by police. Nobody is moving, we are hearing, unless under police escort. We are joined now by a tourist from New Jersey, Francisco Centeno, who is on vacation in Barcelona and who is an eyewitness to what happened. Francisco, can you hear me?
Yes, how are you?
Francisco, what exactly did you see?
Not much. You know, we just left. We were actually going to meet my girlfriend at La Boqueria on Las Ramblas, and no more than 5 minutes walking, we can see just people running the opposite direction and cops everywhere. And the street we had to go down to was closed off. And fortunately, if we left about 5-10 minutes earlier, we could have been in that exact scene.
It's a summer day there in Barcelona. This happened about 5:30 in the late afternoon, and from what I understand, it was very crowded on Las Ramblas.
Right. You know, we were about 5 more minutes, a little less walking distance to be right where it happened, and right around the time it happened, we were fortunate enough that it was closed off, so we didn't get to actually be on Las Ramblas, but we were going to eat there. And from what we saw, it was no people on that other side, but many crowds of people running towards us, so we didn't get to get on that side of it.
What did people do, Francisco?
You know, there was just crying, you know, cops just bringing people out. I saw a fellow gentleman lead a group of people out, and, you know, the way we were walking, all of a sudden we're caught in this crowd of people, and we're walking the opposite direction, kind of in a bit of flood of people, and there's just people screaming and crying around us, so we knew not to walk towards that direction. It was very obvious to tell.
All right, Francisco Centeno, who's in Barcelona on vacation. As you can see, a very disturbing scene in Barcelona right now. We're joined by Jonathan Vigliotti in our London bureau. Jonathan, what more, if anything, do we know about the suspect in this case?
Yeah, Anthony, that active manhunt, as you mentioned, continues at this hour. Catalan police treating this as a terror attack, though at this point it's unclear what intel they're working off of at this point. At a press conference a short while ago, authorities released a photograph of the suspect, only describing him as 20 years old. The attack happened around 5 p.m. local time. Police say the driver jumped the curb, crashing his van into pedestrians, driving for 7 city blocks before stopping and jumping out of that vehicle and fleeing. There are unconfirmed reports citing police sources that the suspect is now holed up in a nearby bar with hostages. Barcelona's Las Ramblas district is one of the city's most popular tourist destinations, often packed with people. Similar, Anthony, to the farmers market in New York City's Union Square. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson referred to the attack as bearing the hallmarks of what appears to be yet another terrorist attack. He offered his condolences for the loss of life. Again, though, at this point, the suspect remains at large. The number of dead still unclear as that manhunt continues.
Yes, this story still very active at the moment. You can see police there working in the square. They have shut down trains and subways in the area, and the area has been cordoned off. To repeat, a van plowed into a crowd of pedestrians on a sidewalk in that popular tourist area of Barcelona, Spain, Las Ramblas. If you've been to Barcelona, you've probably been there. Almost every tourist goes there. Police are calling it a terror attack. They confirm at least one death and more than 30 injuries, 10 of them critical. Although, again, local media is saying the number is significantly higher. higher, perhaps as high as 13. A manhunt underway for the driver of the van who may be holed up in a bar. We're continuing to follow this story, and we'll be back on the air with any major developments. There will be more as well on your local news on this CBS station, on our 24-hour streaming news network, CBSN, and right here tonight on the CBS Evening News. I'm Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.